Quaker Oats Company, makers of fine foods for the whole family, presents America's favorite family, the Nelsons. Ozzie, Harriet, David, and Ricky. Now a word about one of the many fine Quaker products.
Hi. The kennel ration is for Darby's dog. We're dog sitting again. And just take a look in the other room. My animal trainers have taken over. They're convinced they can teach him anything. So far, however, they haven't convinced him. But here's a trick nobody had to teach him. I get him kennel ration, and he does the rest.
Sure he does. Like all dogs, he loves his kennel ration. Why, every can of kennel ration is packed with nourishing lean red meat. Choice cuts of U.S. government-inspected horse meat. It contains other essential ingredients and is fortified with every vitamin and mineral. Every nutrient a dog is known to need. Chlorophyllin, too.
I don't understand it. So far, I haven't been able to teach him anything.
Well, it takes time. Look how long it took me to train you.
Keep that other member of your family happy and healthy with Kennel Ration, America's most trusted dog food.
Now, Quaker invite you to enjoy The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet.
You're going to be late for the meeting. In fact, you're late right now.
I can't get this darn tie to come out even.
Go quit stalling.
Stalling for what?
So you can miss the singing of the men's club song, the reading of the minutes of the last meeting, and the approval of the minutes as read.
Are you kidding?
No, I don't think it's fair. If you're going to belong to the men's club, you have to learn to take the dull stuff along with the poker games and the refreshments.
Well, it's not my fault if I can't tie this tie.
Here, I'll tie it for you, Pop. See you later.
Hey, wait a minute, where are you going with my tie?
Oh, it's not your tie, Pop. It's David's.
Well, I've got just as much right to wear David's tie as you have.
Oh, no, you haven't, Pop. He's wearing my sport coat.
You mean the check one?
Yeah, that's right.
Now, just a second. That happens to be my coat. How come you loaned it to David?
Because he loaned me his tie. It's for a worthy cause, Pop. I've got a date with a new girl.
Well, what's her name?
Her name's Penelope Abbott. Well, good night, Pop. Good night, Mom.
Good night, dear.
Good night. Borrow one of Dave's ties.
Penelope. That sounds familiar.
Not to me.
Sure, weren't you going out with a girl named Penelope when I first met you? Penelope Briggs, wasn't it?
Penelope Briggs? I don't think so.
I'm sure of it. You remember she's kind of a washed-out blonde?
I don't remember. You must be thinking of some other washed-out blonde.
How many did you go out with?
I don't know. Look, I'm going to be late for the meeting. In fact, I'm probably late already.
How many?
I tell you, I don't know. I bet I've missed the singing of the men's club song, the reading of the minutes, any additions or corrections, and I move the minutes be accepted as corrected. Now, let me get out of here. Will you let me get out of here, please?
Okay. Just don't forget to tell Doc and Darby they're expected over here Saturday night.
Okay.
Hey, good night.
Oh, I'm sorry. Good night, Penelope. Harriet.
Well, there seems to be no further business. Let's all adjourn to the poker tables.
Just a moment, Mr. Chairman. What about the 50-cent fine Ozzie Nelson owes?
50-cent fine for what?
For missing the men's club song, the minutes of the last meeting, and the minutes accepted as read.
When did that go into effect?
Tonight. If you'd been here on time, you could have voted against it.
Okay, all I've got is a $1 bill.
Well, we don't have any change, so now you can miss the opening of the next meeting, too.
Well, let's adjourn to the poker tables.
What am I? Just a second. You can't railroad one thing through after another. Somebody has to make a motion to that effect.
Okay, I move we adjourn.
Second.
That was a pretty dirty trick pushing that law through when I wasn't here.
That's why we pushed it through. If you want to belong to a men's club, you got to take the dull stuff along with the poker games.
Well, that's just what Harriet said.
Oh, naturally. That's what they always say at the women's club. Only instead of poker, it's canasta.
I'll tell you this much, I'm going to fight to have it repealed.
Hey, boys, can I get in on this?
Oh, sure. Oh, this is Harry Andrews, Oz, a new member. This is Ozzie Nelson.
Oh, how do you do?
All right.
Nice to know you. Here, have some coffee.
Thank you. Haven't I seen you someplace before?
Well, probably around town.
No, I don't think so. I just moved in from New Jersey.
Oh, well, I'm from New Jersey, from Bergen County.
Say, wait a minute. Did you play football in high school?
Well, yes, I did.
Well, that's where I know you from. We must have played together. They used to call you Ziggy.
No, Ozzie.
You played end.
No, a quarterback. No, wait a minute. Andrews, you played in the line, didn't you?
That's right. Of course, we had a pretty big squad that year.
Oh, yeah, a lot of guys came out for the team. That's probably why I didn't remember you at first.
Hey, Oz, what's that big game you're always talking about?
Oh, you mean the Richfield Park-Leonia game?
I remember that one. It was a tough one to lose.
No, we didn't lose.
Yes, we did. It was a close one, but we lost.
I hate to sound immodest, but we won. I scored the winning touchdown. I happened to make quite a long run.
Maybe you ran the wrong way, Oz.
Yeah, that's probably why they called you Ziggy. You zigged when you should have zagged.
Nobody ever called me Ziggy.
Are you sure?
Well, I'm positive I'd certainly remember a thing like that.
Well, not necessarily if you can't even remember that your team lost.
We didn't lose.
Well, then why was I crying in the locker room after the game?
I'm sure I don't know, but you weren't crying because we lost, because we won the game.
Maybe I was crying because I had my 2 front teeth knocked out in that game. Don't tell anyone, but this is a bridge.
Don't tell anyone, but this is a toupee.
Excuse me, Harry. I got a couple more fellas I'd like you to meet. Nice to talk to you, Zig. Oz.
Well, nice to talk to you.
Hey, Oz, you know, I'm just beginning to realize what a really spectacular football player you must have been.
I didn't say anything of the sort.
You're the only guy I've ever heard of who scored the winning touchdown and lost the game.
We didn't lose the game. We won it 17-13.
That was a long, long time ago, Oz. As you get older, your memory starts to go back on you.
Well, I'm not that old. My memory is just as good as it ever was.
Well, let's just say it's peculiar that 2 guys who played on the same team in the same game can't remember whether they won or lost.
Well, I can remember we won.
Harry says you lost.
I don't care what Harry
Hey,
said.
look, Oz, wouldn't that score be in your old school yearbook?
Well, yes, it would.
Well, then it's perfectly simple. All you have to do is look it up.
Well, I'll do that as soon as I get home.
Of course, it'll look a little suspicious if you can't find the book.
I can find the book. I know just where it is.
What are you looking for?
Oh, my old Richfield Park High School yearbook. I can't find it anyplace.
Oh, you still worried about Penelope Briggs?
Penelope Briggs? Harry, what's she got to do with whether we won a football game or not?
Well, a lot if you had your mind on her instead of the game. What does the yearbook look like?
Well, it's about this big, and it's red and white, the school colors.
Oh, I think I remember seeing one of those back at your mother's in New Jersey.
Oh, gee.
Hey, wait a minute. Come back here. Haven't you forgotten something?
Harry, will you forget about Penelope Briggs? Just because I happen to go out with a washed-out, with a blonde?
Who's talking about Penelope Briggs?
Oh, well, why did you call me back?
Well, to clean up this mess, all this stuff you threw around.
Oh, gee, after all, it's an attic. Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio.
Gee, I don't know, Pop. I've never even been to Richfield Park.
I know, but I thought you might remember my telling you about this one game.
Well, this wasn't the game where you tried the field goal, was it?
No, I don't think so.
Remember there was only 10 seconds left, but the kick was short and you lost the game?
No. We didn't lose. We won.
Well, how could you have won if you missed the field goal?
No, well, he's talking about a different game. Are you sure you don't remember the Richfield Park-Leonia game?
I should remember it. I used to know all the games you played by heart.
So did Dave. That's how you used to get your allowance.
Are you talking about the game you played during the snowstorm? It was the first year Pop Erickson was coach because Professor Randall had opened up a real estate office?
Well, no, not all the details, just the last play.
Well, that's the way you taught it to me, and that's the way I got to recite it.
The score was 13-10 against us. We were on the 46-yard line. Went to a short punt formation. I was deep. The ball was snapped back to me.
Oh, I remember now. You faded back to pass. Nobody was open, so you decided to run, and you went all the way for a touchdown and won the game.
Did you hear that, Harriet? Well, wait till I see that Harry.
Oh, you'll see him Saturday night at our party.
Oh, well, when did you invite him?
Well, I was just talking to his wife. She wanted us to go over to their house, but I told her we were having a party, and I invited them over here.
Oh, well, that's nice, but how come you did that?
Well, I thought since you fellas played on the same team, you'd like to talk over old times. Maybe he'll be able to remember when you used to go out with Penelope Briggs.
Well, how do you remember that when he can't even remember who won the football game?
Who's Penelope Briggs?
I'd rather not go into that subject if you don't mind, Rick.
Well, let's do it. I'd like to talk about it some more.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning, Darb.
Got any coffee left?
Sure, come on in.
Hi, Darb.
Hi, Oz.
Morning, Mr. Darby.
Morning, Rick. Well, I came over to apologize.
Apologize for what?
For Harry Andrews. I drove him home last night. He got out his old high school yearbook.
Oh, I'm glad you... I couldn't find mine.
I didn't think you would.
What do you mean by that?
Nothing.
Oh, what do you want to apologize for? Oh, he found a record of my touchdown run in the yearbook?
No, that wasn't it. He wanted to apologize about the mix-up in names. There was a Ziggy, but it was Ziggy Wilson. He was an N.
Ziggy? I don't remember any guy named Ziggy Wilson.
Of course not.
Oh, you're just trying to set a little trap for me, huh?
No, I wasn't, Oz. I looked at the roster. His name was there, Ziggy Wilson. But do you know something? No, I'd rather not say in front of Rick.
Well, go ahead. You can say anything in front of him.
Okay. But your name was not on the roster.
Well, that's impossible.
No, it isn't. I looked twice. You know, I'm afraid Doc's right. I think your memory is slipping.
Well, I certainly would remember if I was on the team or not.
Yeah, sure. But the question is, did you ever play football?
Well, if I wasn't playing football, what was I doing?
Going out with Penelope Briggs?
I say there's nothing in the world like starting the day with a good breakfast. Like one morning I was sitting in the Senate dining room enjoying my favorite cereal.
Enjoying your breakfast, Senator Hay?
Always do when it's Quaker puffed wheat or puffed rice.
Yeah, but you didn't even look at your menu.
Son, I didn't come here to read. I come here to eat.
Ever tried the rich man cereal? It's shaped like dollar signs.
It ain't natural.
Well, how about this one? The long playing cereal.
It just ain't, I say it just ain't natural. Natural, that is. Son, I like Quaker puffed wheat and puffed rice the way they are. When you got a good thing, don't mess around with it. I say there's just no flavor like natural flavor. And it's better than ever now. And why? 'Cause it's got the double protection of a brand new package to keep it crisp and fresh. That's why I always enjoy the pure, natural goodness of Quaker puffed wheat and Quaker puffed rice. That's a cereal, son.
Yeah, well, thanks a lot anyway, Doc, but I don't think so. Well, if I change my mind, I'll let you know. Okay. Bye.
What was that all about?
Oh, it's the Doc. He wanted me to go bowling with him.
Why don't you go?
Well, I just don't feel like it.
But you always have so much fun when you go bowling.
Well, it isn't that I don't like bowling.
You just don't like football.
Yeah, I like football.
You just don't like being kidded about it.
No, I don't, frankly.
Look, you played football, didn't you, at Ridgefield Park?
Well, you know I did. You saw me play.
Certainly. Well, that is, I never actually saw you play, but you showed me your uniform. Or was it your brother Al's uniform?
That was my uniform.
Well, I believe you.
Well, you don't sound as if you do.
In what way?
Well, mentioning my brother Al's uniform?
Well, didn't he play?
Well, of course he did.
Well, then what's wrong in mentioning it? If he played, he must have had a uniform.
Well, naturally he had a uniform.
Then why are you afraid to go bowling?
Pop, why are you afraid to go bowling?
I'm not afraid.
Just because they left your name out of the yearbook doesn't mean anything.
Even if you hadn't played, it wouldn't mean anything.
But I did play, and I won that game.
What game is that, Pop?
The Ridgefield Park Leonia game.
Mr. Darby and Doc Williams have been kidding him about it. They claim he didn't.
Well, why don't you show him your high school yearbook?
Well, unfortunately, I can't find it.
Mr. Darby found one, but they can't find your father's name in it.
But I'm going bowling, Harriet.
Well, good for you, dear. What changed your mind?
Well, I figure I can't take a worse beating there than I'm taking here.
Good night.
Good night, Pop.
Good night.
Good night, Pop.
Doggone it.
What's the matter with you tonight, Oz? That's the third ball you've thrown in the gutter.
I just can't seem to keep the ball on the field. On the alley.
Back in the huddle.
Where are you going?
Will you guys cut it out?
Cut what out?
You know darn well what I'm talking about. This football stuff.
What football stuff? All I said was back in the huddle. I wanted to see who was going to pay for the Cokes.
But, wait till I'm finished, will you?
Here's your ball, Oz. Go ahead and bowl.
you're standing just a little bit too far to the left.
Yeah, you're too close to the tackle. Get over a little.
Well, he's not used to playing in the backfield. He's an end.
I'm a quarterback.
Then what are you doing on a bowling alley?
Oh, he's trying to bowl. Now leave him alone. He's just trying to rattle you, Oz.
A quarterback never gets rattled, if he ever was a quarterback.
You see, that's the reason I didn't want to come bowling with you guys tonight.
Oh, Oz, you're too sensitive.
I'm not sensitive, but this is getting ridiculous. Now, I'm telling you guys for the last time, I did play quarterback for Ridgefield Park High School, and I scored the winning touchdown against Leonia.
What was it Shakespeare said? The lady doth protest too much, methinks.
What lady?
Penelope Briggs.
Penelope Briggs? How do you know about Penelope Briggs?
Well, I was at your house when Harriet mentioned her.
Oz, tell us about her.
If you guys think you're bothering me, you're just wasting your time.
Go ahead, Oz. You can have another ball.
I'll take it. Pull the strike. All I can say is that for intelligent men, these guys sure have a strange sense of humor.
I expected them to kid you a little.
Well, about football, yes, but not about Penelope Briggs. Why'd you have to tell them about her for, anyway?
Well, I didn't tell him. Darby was here when I happened to mention her name.
Well, why did you mention her name to him?
I was just testing your memory.
There's nothing wrong with my memory.
Well, then why can't you remember?
I don't care about Penelope. I want to prove to those guys that I played football at Ridgefield Park. It was my run that won the game against Leonia.
Maybe that's the trouble. Nobody will believe there is such a place as Leonia.
You know there is. In fact, I just got a letter from there the other day. Of course, where's his card?
Whose card?
Well, the guy who sent me the letter. He played on our team. In fact, he played in that game.
Who?
A guy named Howard Stewart. He's in the insurance business now. Here's his card.
Howard Stewart?
Well, yes, they used to call him Hammerhead Stewart. He played on our team, but he's living in Leonia now.
You're not going to call him?
Well, of course I am.
In Leonia, New Jersey?
Harriet, this is important.
Long distance.
Oh, hello. I'm calling Leonia, New Jersey. The number is Logan 39311. And I'd like to talk to Hammerhead, to Howard Stewart, please.
Yes, sir. One moment, please.
You know there's a difference in time. He's probably asleep.
No, it says right on his card here, we never sleep.
Well, I do. I've got a lot of work to do for the party tomorrow night. Good night, dear.
Oh, good night, dear.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, not you, dear. Do you have my number yet?
It's ringing.
In Ridgefield Park, there is a school. It's called RPHS.
I beg your pardon?
That's the old Ridgefield Park High School fight song I was singing there.
I'm sorry, sir. There's no answer.
No. Well, thank you very much. There's one thing I can't stand. It's false advertising.
Park is called for a timeout. There's just 50 seconds left to play. Ridgefield Park's ball, fourth down, and Leonia's leading 13 to 10. Time is in on the field. Ridgefield Park is back in the huddle.
Let's see now.
Come on, Oz. Call the play.
I was thinking, if it's okay with you guys, we'll call this,
Can't you remember?
this pass play where, what's his name?
You mean, Hammerhead?
Hammerhead. Hammerhead goes straight down and cuts back there, my center, right.
It's a long huddle. They're breaking now. Uh-oh, Nelson's calling them back. Somebody must have forgotten the signal.
Kind of embarrassing, fellas. What was the signal?
It looks like they got it all settled. They're going up to the line of scrimmage. This will be the last play of the game. The ball is snapped. Nelson takes the ball, fakes back to pass. Can't find a receiver. Decides to
Leonia. We haven't been able to reach your party.
Oh, well, will you cancel a call, please? I'll call him back tomorrow.
And that's how the game ended. And now we return you to our studios for a brief interlude of music.
No, don't go back to the studio. What's the matter? They're broadcasting the Ridgefield Park Leonia game, and they went back to the studio before I could find out who won.
Oh, go back to sleep, dear. You're dreaming.
I have your party, Mr. Nelson. Go ahead.
Oh, well, thank you. Hello?
Hello?
Is this Hammerhead Stewart?
Yes, who is this?
This is Ozzie Nelson.
Who?
Ozzie Nelson, I used to play football with you.
Where, the Philadelphia Eagles?
No.
Green Bay Packers?
No.
Notre Dame?
No, in high school.
Oh, Perth Amboy.
No, Ridgefield Park.
Oh, yeah, I played there when I was a junior. Who'd you say this is?
Ozzie Nelson.
R.C. Wilson?
No, you're thinking of Ziggy Wilson.
Oh, hiya, Ziggy. What can I do for you?
No, I'm Ozzie Nelson. I got a letter from you the other day with your card in it.
Oh, yeah, I'm sending it out to all my old friends, Zig. How'd you like that endowment plan I submitted? Taking care of the kiddies so they can go to college?
Oh, that seems fine. Yeah, well, they're already in college.
Oh, then you want something for yourself. How about an annuity? You must be about ready to retire.
No. I wanted to ask you something about football.
Oh, the kids are playing football.
No. I don't mean, this is a game that we played. It was between Ridgefield Park and Leonia.
Oh, yeah, but the game I remember was the Roughford game. There was a scout there from Notre Dame.
No. The game I was wondering about was the Ridgefield Park Leonia.
Well, to tell you the truth, I don't remember whether I played in that game or not. You know how your memory goes back on you.
Well, yeah, I suppose.
Say, are you bothered much with tornadoes out there? We've got a new policy that takes care of that sort of an emergency.
Oh, well, no, thanks just the same.
Well, I'll send you all the information anyway.
Okay, thanks a lot. So long.
So long, Ziggy.
I don't know what you're going to all this trouble for. It's just Darby and Doc in the crowd.
Oh, it's no trouble.
Wish they weren't coming.
Oh, come on now. Don't be such a sore loser.
Harriet, we didn't lose. We won. I'll tell you this much. You're not going to spoil my evening. I'm going to have a good time in spite of them. Oh, here they are.
Wait a minute. You better let me get that. Ozzie?
I've got it. Oh, hi, Doc. Hi. Can I take your coat?
Oh,
Harriet.
Right, I'll put it over here.
Hi, Sally. Hi, Doc. Hi, Harry.
I don't think you know my wife, Estelle.
Oh, how do you do? This is Harry Andrews, Harriet.
Hello. Come on in.
Thank you.
Hi, Clary. I'll take your coat.
Hi.
Hi, Joe.
Say, Ozzie, I understand you and Harry used to play football together.
Clara, please.
Yes, you want to make the coffee, Sally?
Sure. Judy, you can get the cups if you want to.
All right.
Stella, come on, see my kitchen.
Hi, Harry.
Hi, honey.
Well, okay, let's get it over with.
Get what over with?
My football career.
Football? What's that?
You know darn well what it is.
Yeah, but do you? Okay, Oz, let's settle this. I guess I do owe you an apology. The other night when Harry showed me the yearbook, I wasn't wearing my glasses, and frankly, I couldn't tell you whether your name was there or not.
Well, my name was there, all right. I wish you'd have brought the book over here with you, Harry.
Oh, but I did, Oz.
Well, good.
Here it is.
Here, let me see.
And keep your glasses on.
Here, let me look at it, Dime.
Pardon me, fellas.
Airmail special delivery for Nelson.
Oh, thank you very much.
Harry Bancroft, quarterback, and Tommy Murphy, left tackle.
Well, did you find my name there?
I'm sorry, Oz, but it just isn't in the book.
Well, that's impossible.
Who was that at the door?
Oh, the mailman with an airmail special delivery letter for you.
Oh, that's from your mother. I figured we might as well get this whole thing settled once and for all. So I called her and asked her to send me the clipping from your scrapbook.
Oh, that's great. Here, this'll prove it to you wise guys. There, listen to this. Social notes. There was a new twosome at the junior prom last night. Ozzie Nelson and Penelope Briggs.
Well, what do you think of your memory now?
This isn't the clipping I thought it was.
Obviously.
You mean you couldn't remember a girl you went to the junior prom with?
Well, no, not necessarily.
Well, if you couldn't remember a girl, you certainly couldn't remember playing football.
I tell you, I do remember playing football.
Oz, I've looked all through this book, and you aren't in it anywhere. You weren't even on the debating team.
Oh, wait a minute. I don't recognize any of these guys.
Well, that's the whole Leonia football team.
Leonia? Well, I played on Richfield Park High School.
That's why you thought you won. Well, you guys did win.
Well, of course we did.
But then you did play football together.
Yeah, but we played against each other. He played for Leonia, and I played for Richfield Park.
Well, I'm glad that's finally settled. We'll take up the question of Penelope later.
Why don't you do it now? Why should Joe and I be the only ones who have fights?
There isn't time. The food's ready. Come on, fellas.
Oh, boy, I'm hungry. Come on, Doc.
Quit pushing, Darby.
Come on.
Doggone it, Oz. I knew you looked familiar. I remember that game distinctly. The score was tied and there was 50 seconds left to play. You faded back to pass and then you decided to run with the ball and made the winning touchdown.
Hey, did you guys hear that? Hey, you guys. They're too busy eating. We'll tell them later.
Yeah, well, I nearly caught you, though. I remember diving at your feet and just barely missing you.
Oh, well, I had kind of a tricky way of running in those days. Kind of bent over and I'd throw my feet up in the back. Kind of.
Hey, you're the guy that kicked out my 2 front teeth.
How about that?
I'm hungry.
Next week, Ozzie and Harriet will be brought to you by Eastman Kodak Company.
Hey, did you get it? Did you get it?
You bet I did, Mike. To tell the truth, sunshine or shade, I could hardly miss if I wanted to with this camera. It's the brand new Brownie Scope Sight turret movie camera by Kodak. And you simply got to shoot it to believe what it can do. It has a built-in exposure meter here, coupled to a pointer right in the viewfinder. You get perfect exposure simply by turning this knob to center the pointer as you view each scene. You get beautiful color movies, reel after reel. What's more, it lets you take 1, 2, 3 kinds of scenes with just a twist of the wrist. It's new from Kodak, the Brownie Scope Sight movie camera turret model. $99.50 or as little as $10 down. Another good reason to insist on the name Kodak.
Ozzie and Harriet have been brought to you tonight by the Quaker Oats Company. Quaker, producers of more than 50 foods for the family. Next time you shop, try one of the many fine products of the Quaker Oats Company.
This has been an ABC Television Network film presentation.